position and fame. Those working for him would simply follow his lead and do what he wanted. But his whole life had been a lesson in the opposite. People continually take from you. They doubt your powers and challenge you. In this environment, his executives and managers were not trying to take his money or his life, but rather he had the feeling they were nibbling away at his power, trying to soften his image and make him more corporate and predictable. If he let this go on, he would lose the only quality that made him different: his propensity to take risks and do the unexpected. He might become a safe investment, but he would no longer be a leader and a creative force. In this world, you cannot relax and rest on your name, your past achievements, your title. You have to fight to impose your difference and compel people to follow your lead. All of these thoughts became painfully clear to him in the summer of 2007. His third album, Curtis, was to be released in September of that year, and everyone seemed to be asleep. The record label, Interscope, was acting as if the album would sell itself. His management team had put together a marketing campaign that he felt was too tame, passive, and corporate. They were trying to control too much. Then, one August afternoon, an employee at G-Unit Records, 50's own label within Interscope, told him that if they had an upcoming album, somehow just nothing was to be heard. If it spread, it would mess up the carefully orchestrated rollout of songs and exactly that line. 50 was the first to hear of this, and after contemplating what to do next, he decided it was finally time to shake up the dynamic, do the unpredictable, and play the part of the hustler king. He called into his office his radio and internet pitch. Instead of working to contain the viral spread of the video, the usual response to such a problem and what management would advocate, he ordered them to surreptitiously leak it to other sites and let it spread like wildfire. On top of this move, they created the following story to tell journalists about the consumption. 50 heard, to a wild rage. He threw his phone at the window with such force it cracked it. He tore the plasma TV off the wall and smashed it into pieces. He left the building in a fit, and the last thing they heard him yelling was that he was shutting it all down and going on vacation. To do any more publicity, as he had threatened, their whole campaign was doomed. They had to follow his lead here and let him set the tone for the publicity, which meant something more aggressive and fluid. Among 50's executives and employees, word spread quickly of what had supposedly happened, his reputation for being unpredictable and violent brought to life. When they now saw him in the offices, they felt a twinge of fear. Better to pay attention to what he wanted and risk witnessing his anger. And for the public, this was just the kind of story they expected from the thug rapper. It compelled their attention. They could laugh.
I would not even know where to begin.
They could laugh at his out-of-control antics, not realizing that it was 50, directing the drama, who would have the last laugh. The fearless approach. The following is a quote from 50 Cent. "When I reached the top in business, I adjusted to my new position. I became bolder and crazier than before, and I listened even less to people who tried to slow me down." Throughout history, we have witnessed the following pattern. Certain people stand out from the crowd because of some special skill or talent in the crowd. Perhaps they are masters of the political, knowing how to charm and win corporate allies. Or maybe they have superior technical knowledge than the people. Or maybe they are the ones who initiate some Now they are alone and on the top, their every decision and action scrutinized by the group and the public. The pressures can be intense, and what inevitably happens is that many of them unconsciously succumb to all kinds of fears. Whereas before they might have been bold and creative, now they grow cautious and conservative, aware of the heightened stakes. Secretly scared of being held accountable for the success of the group, they overdelegate, poll everyone for their opinions, or refrain from making the hard decisions. Or they become excessively dictatorial, trying to control everything, another sign of weakness and insecurity. It is the story of great senators who make lousy presidents, bold lieutenants who turn into mediocre generals, or top-level managers who become incompetent executives. And yet among the group, there are inevitably a few who demonstrate the opposite. They rise to the position, displaying extraordinary leadership skills that no one had suspected were in them. We find in this group people like Napoleon Bonaparte, Mahatma Gandhi, and Winston Churchill. What links these people together is not some mysterious skill or bit of knowledge, but rather a quality of character, a temperament that reveals the essence of the art. They are fearless. They do not shrink from making the hard decisions by themselves. Instead, they seem to relish such responsibility. They do not suddenly become more conservative, but in fact show a propensity for bold action. They exhibit tremendous grace under fire. Such types come to understand in various ways that a leader has a unique power that generally goes untapped. Any group tends to assume the spirit and energy of the person on top. If that person is weak and passive, then the group tends to splinter into factions. If such leaders lack confidence, their insecurities tend to filter their way down the line. Their nervous, fretful moods put everyone on edge. But there is always the opposite possibility. A leader who is audacious, out in front, and setting the tone and agenda for the group, sparks a higher energy level and confidence. Such a person on top does not need to yell or push people around. Those below want to follow his or her lead because it is strong and inspiring. In war, where leadership skills are more immediately apparent and necessary because lives are at stake, we can distinguish two leadership styles, from behind or from the front. The former type of general likes to stay in his tent or headquarters and bark out orders, feeling that having such distance makes it easier to command. This style can also mean involving lieutenants and other generals in important decisions, choosing to lead by committee. In both cases, the commander is trying to hide himself from scrutiny, accountability, and danger. The greatest generals in history, however, are invariably those who lead from the front and by themselves. They can be seen by the troops at the head of the army, exposing themselves to the same fate as any foot soldier. The Duke of Wellington said that the mere appearance of Napoleon Bonaparte at the head of his army translated into the charge passes through the troops. He is sharing in their sacrifices, leading by example. It has almost religious connotations. We notice the same two styles in business and politics as well. The executives who lead from behind will always try to disguise it as a virtue, the need for secrecy, or their desire to be more fair and democratic. But it really stems from fear, and it invariably leads to a lack of respect had a unique way of directing actors. He would say only a few well-chosen words about what he wanted from them. Then, if they did the wrong thing on the set, he would brutally humiliate them in front of everyone. They quickly learned they had to pay attention to the few words he spoke. Producer's way of spying and applying pressure. Ford didn't say a word. The next day, however, he visited Goldwyn in his office and just sat silently in the chair by Goldwyn's desk, glaring at him. After a while, Goldwyn, exasperated, asked him what he was doing. He just wanted to watch Goldwyn work, Ford answered. Goldwyn never visited him again on the set and quickly learned to give him his space. All of this had a strange, paradoxical effect on the cast and crew. They came to love working for John Ford and would die to gain a place among his exclusive team of returned staff. His standards were so high, it forced them to work harder. He made them superior actors and technicians. An occasional nice gesture or compliment on his part carried double the weight and would be remembered for a lifetime. The end results of his tough and unforgiving manner was that he managed to maintain a higher degree of control over the final product than most other directors, and his films were consistently of the highest quality. Nobody dared to challenge his authority, and he lasted in Hollywood as the king of westerns and action films for well over 40 years, an unprecedented achievement in the industry. Understand, to be a leader often requires making tough choices, getting people to do things against their will. If you have chosen the soft, pleasing, compliant style of leadership out of fear of being disliked, you will find yourself with less and less room to compel people to work harder or make sacrifices. If you suddenly try to be tough, they often feel wounded and personally upset. They can move from love to hate. The opposite approach yields the opposite result. If you build a reputation for toughness and getting results, people might resent you, but you will establish a foundation of respect. You are demonstrating genuine qualities of leadership that speak to everyone. Now, with time and a well-founded authority, you have room to back off and reward people, even to be nice. When you do so, it will be seen as a genuine gesture, not an attempt to get people to like you, and it will have double the effect. Keys to fearlessness. The following is a quote from Thucydides. For it is a general rule of human nature that people despise those who treat them well and look up to those who make no concessions. Thousands of years ago, our most primitive ancestors formed groups for power and protection. But as these groups got larger, they encountered a problem with human nature that plagues us to this day. Individuals have different levels of talent, ambition, and assertiveness. Their interests do not necessarily converge on all points. When it comes to the important decisions upon which the fate of the tribe hangs, the members will often think of their own narrow agendas. A group of humans is always on the verge of splintering into a chaos of divergent interests. For this purpose, leaders were chosen to make the hard decisions and end all the dissension. But the members of the tribe would inevitably feel ambivalence towards their leaders. They saw the necessity for them and the respect that should be paid to their authority, but they feared that their chieftains and kings would accumulate too much power and oppress them. They often wondered why this particular person or family deserved such a lofty position. In many ancient cultures, the king was ritually put to death after a few years.
see the base, 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 base. You ain't seen the basement, bitch. You got that? Is that sinking in?
Try and stop me, bitch. Try and stop me.
Base. Son of a You ain't seen the basement, bitch. You got that? Where's my money, bitch? You ain't seen the basement. Base, 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 base. You ain't seen the basement, bitch. You ain't seen. You ain't seen. You ain't seen it. 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 You ain't seen the basement, bitch. Got that? That sinking in?
Let's start with some tough love.
You ain't seen the basement.
What happens now? What happens now? I'll tell you. What happens now? Alright? 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 Let's start with some tough love.
You ain't seen the basement. You ain't seen it. 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 You ain't seen the basement, bitch. Got that? That sinking in?
Let's start with some tough love.
You ain't seen the basement.
as crusty as forever. Until the day he sticks a gun up his mouth and pulls the trigger just to get me out of his head.
He said that the others slaughtered by a crazy man. And get this, he's a crazy man traveling a little girl. See, everything happens for a reason.
Stop right away.
Everything happens for a reason. He said that the others had been slaughtered by a crazy man. And get this, he's a crazy man traveling a little girl. He said everything happens for a reason.
Stop right away.
Everything happens for a reason. to play? Are you ready to play? Continue the game.
Look at all the skin suits. That's the sweet aroma of fear. Now you will understand why you fear the dark. This part never gets old. You all think you'll make it out of this alive. Have you said your goodbyes? Ever get the feeling you're not alone in the room? You're not. That would spoil all the fun. Have a good death. This part never gets old. Just you and me now. Don't hold me back. They're in for a surprise. Ever get the feeling you're not alone in the room? You're not. Shut it down. Close that beat.
Pass me the potatoes, mother. Pass them yourself. That boy too eating potatoes. Don't you call my little chubby baby back, you ball licker, ball licker, ball licker, ball licker, ball licker, ball licker, ball licker. You ball licker, 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 ball licker. Ball licker, ball licker. Pass me the potatoes, mother. Pass them yourself. That boy too fat to be eating potatoes. Don't you call my little chubby baby back, you ball licker, ball licker, ball licker, ball licker, ball licker, ball licker. You ball licker, ball licker, ball licker, ball licker, ball licker, ball licker, ball
life sometimes goes like you don't expect it to. What are the odds of that? This is real.
Hardcore heavy head bang, you've been missing.
You didn't tell me you around with portals and shit. Portals and shit. and shit. Portals and shit. Damn, you didn't tell me you around with portals and shit.
It's more powerful than you know. Make you share my pain. The true lords of the Sith. Pitiful. Accept your fate. It's more powerful than you know. Make you share my pain. Hear their bones shatter. Such wonder. Let the killing begin. Pitiful.
what you say is true. The Shaolin could be dangerous. Yes, my lord. We saw them practicing with each other. Their kung fu is first class.
No match for my style.